So, just a little bit of a back history to my family. My granddad predicted that the Titanic would sink. We went to great pains to alert everyone. Sadly, no one listened. He told people in authority, middle management, even everyday punters who bought tickets for the bloody thing. And he was silenced from all corners in spite of the evidence that he put forward. And eventually, they had him thrown out the cinema.
Oh.
I went glamping not too long ago, and part of it is like wildlife tests and that sort of thing, a little bit of wildlife skills. And I was cooking deer meat, and my kids were asking, "What are you cooking, Dad?" And I said, "It's what your mum calls me every day." To which Katie said, "Don't eat it, Lisa. It's an arsehole." Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to the Black Dog 195. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
I need help, right?
Yes, and this week we'll be seeing how everyone's week's been, and if we haven't got anything to do this week, then we will be asking for trouble in that wonderful section that brought so much trauma to so many lives in such a short space of time. We'll be returning to that, yes. And then we'll have some feedback, and then we will move on to this week's movie, which is supposedly the last of the indeterminate weeks of horror, which is your pick, Elton, which was?
It was Terrifier.
Terrifier. Yes, so we will be doing that. And we'll be seeing how that's going on and how everyone got on with that seminal film that produced 3 sequels or 2 sequels, and the third one's in the way. We'll see how we get on with that. But first, let's just find out how everyone's week's been. We'll start with you as ever, Jim. How's it been, sir?
Fairly quiet. Been a bit kind of back home.
Yeah.
Well, because we're going away.
Yeah.
To like nice Airbnb cottages. You come home and you go, it's nice to be home. My house is an absolute shithole, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think you think to yourself, well, yeah, of course the Airbnb is spick and span entirely because no one actually lives there.
Yes, right.
I mean, if you're a chap, like what we are, and you like movies and comics and books, and you do soundy stuff and musicy stuff and arty stuff, you have ended up with a lot of stuff in your house.
Shock horror.
And life is too short for dusting.
Yes.
But I was inspired. I came and looked at my kitchen drawers. I thought, oh God, these are just chaos. I'm like, it's long overdue me just taking, like the big plastic trays you got the cutlery in and washing it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, you know what? I'm going to sort this out good and proper. To online shopping. Can I get a better, insert for my kitchen drawer? Because currently, with the current system, the plastic tray is too shallow. The knives are always sort of jailbreaking the way into the forks. Everything's getting all mixed up. It's just chaos. And You know what? I had a special offer for a $5. I got a set of different size, quite deep Perspex trays, all loose. So you can just sort of slot them into your heart's content, whatever layout you want. And I had enough to do 2 drawers. So I've done not only the cutlery, but also the really messy drawer where I've got all the garlic press and the corkscrews and the cookie cutters and all those other kitchen bits that don't fit into an ordinary sort of tray. And they're all sorted out. And literally, this is what my life's become now. It's so rock and roll. I just kick it in the kitchen. I open the doors and go, look at that.
That's stand there, hands on hips, look down at the cutlery drawer and go, that's quality.
That's a job well done. I've sorted that out. I've achieved something very important.
Oh my God. What have we become? And I tell you what, if we were all standing there, we would probably all stand back and look at it and admire it with you, Jim. That's
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Have you?
As I get older, I realise it is the little things that can make a big difference. The little things that can just improve your life. Like, right, yeah, all the forks, you stay over there now. No getting in with the teaspoons, and the teaspoons, you're not escaping and pretending to be potato peelers or any shit like that. You're all in your place. And if one gets a bit messy, I can just take one bit out and wash it. I don't have to take the whole fucking drawer out.
Oh my god!
It's completely top
genius.
drawer.
Yeah. I'm so pleased. I'm so easily pleased as well. But
Wow.
yeah, that's where I'm at in my life.
So yeah, I was gonna say, have you reached the pinnacle of drawer management? In which case, you've got all the spoons pointing in the same way, so they all slot together. Or are we still in
nearly there?
You know, I mean, you know,
it's starting to get a bit chaotic after about a week, and after, but no. So that's how easily pleased I am.
That's how easily.
But I would recommend it. Don't. If you got one of those molded plastic inserts with different compartments, just bin that. Get yourself online. Get some like individual drawers which you can arrange and suit yourself. And you'll be so happy. It's a buzz that lasts a couple of weeks. It's better than heroin by far.
Jesus. Wow. I mean,
I know.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say? I don't. Wow. Well, Jim, I think you're leading the vanguard into our sort of like dotage at this point. I think
pretty much. Yeah.
I think you're the canary in the coal mine for how this podcast has changed. where back in the day it was, I went to the pub and I went to the cinema and I went and did this and I went out and I did that and everything else, and now all of a sudden it's like, I stood back, looked down into my cutlery drawer, a job well done.
Yep, that's it.
No, I admire it. I'm not mocking. I'm admiring. You know,
I understand the satisfaction though, because I have had my forks and knives. I had that moment of, have they swapped? You know, when you take too many knives out and too many forks out, and then all of a sudden someone puts a fork in the knife drawer.
They start cross-migrating.
And you're like, what one was what side? I'm not too sure now. And now I'm all a little bit confused as to where it all started and where it all finished.
No, left to right. When you talk about your cutlery, you go knives, forks, spoons, don't you? That's it. No one ever says spoons,
we got
forks,
knives, spoons.
No, knife, fork, spoon.
But
Whenever
you eat. I'm like a fork in the left hand, so that's why the forks are on the left.
Oh, I've got to side with Lee on this one. That's how I do mine. It's the knife, fork,
yeah,
spoon.
Knife, fork, spoon.
And then it spoons up the top.
Yeah, because as much as anything, it's how phonetically, or when you talk about your cutlery, what are you talking about? You don't talk about spoons, knife, fork. You go knife, fork, spoon. Always.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how you put it in. That's how it goes in the drawer.
Really? I hadn't thought about that. We've got forks, knives, then spoons.
Yeah. See,
You know, but here's an exciting thought, lads. I know we've been talking about
Jim's
cutlery.
running off just to swap them around now.
He is. He's doing it again.
Oh no, mine was like that, but under the new regime, I have
new regime.
new regime. Yeah. I think. Yeah. No.
Some new laws in this house.
Let me think now.
Yeah.
No, I do have the spoons on the side, mainly because our kitchen cutlery drawer is right in the middle, and it seemed more equidistant to have to go spoon, knives, forks.
See,
that might change. Because the beauty of my system, I can just pull out a chain and swap them over. Simple as that.
It's amazing.
I'm gonna have a hell of a time trying to sound clip out that as you're constantly changing around your cutlery drawer in the background.
You know, I get the impression that Martin Thompson will actually die of a brain seizure trying to get this one sorted. The boredom, the excitement, I should say, that he'll feel at trying to organise a black dog out of context.
Yeah.
Knife,
fork, spoon, fork, knife, knifey, spook.
Here's an idea. How about people take a photo of their drawer and put it on the group?
Oh, good Lord.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Have a thread. Don't like fill up the whole place with it. God, otherwise we'll have to get organisers to put all the photos in.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's only I can only become so erect. I mean, seriously.
Carol, look at this one. Oh, look what they've done.
Yeah. Oh, it's party time tonight.
Look, Carol, I'm balancing a spoon.
It's only a,
Haven't had that in a long while, have we? No.
it's only a sugar spoon.
That's
They can
not on
only-
your nose.
That's my tongue hanger.
A fun fact, do you know that everybody looks like Pete Townsend in the back of a spoon?
Or Mr. Nosy Bonk from Jigsaw. Oh, blimey. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Just, post your cutlery drawer. And if you're really feeling daring, post your cutlery tray in your dishwasher. There you go. Look at that. See, we live on the fucking edge, we do.
I can't do that. Mine's wooden.
What, your dishwasher?
Got wood.
Oh, God.
It's a wooden dishwasher with wooden plates, and it wouldn't go.
It wouldn't go anywhere. Fucking wooden dishwashers. sitting there cranking a wooden fan. Amanda,
Behold, a wooden computer.
Amanda, go to the sump.
You think that's special?
Draw water from the well and pour it into the wooden spinner.
Tell the
You should see
children
his
to turn
TV made of
harder.
Rice Krispies.
Yes, we need more tallow. Quick, make some soap. Make some soap. As you're rattling it around. This dishwasher seems to be smashing all the plates. Maybe I should stop shaking it to make the water fall off. Right. So, right. Well, thanks for that, Jim.
Yep, my work here is done.
Oh, yeah. Elton.
No, nothing. Nothing.
Not even with your wooden dishwasher.
No, I don't have a wooden dishwasher, and no, I have nothing for this week, I'm afraid.
Oh, dear. Oh dear.
Yep. Sad trombone.
sad kazoo of weekly failure. I'm only doing that because I literally have just found the kazoo while trying to make that noise for Jim's cutlery drawer. Anyway, all right then. Well, we'll move on to you then, Dow. Can you top cutlery drawer action?
Can I top cutlery drawer action? Well, I was going to talk about my cardigan collection, but I just feel as though that might be a bit much.
Steady
It's
on.
like taking it up a notch.
Steady on.
Taking it what?
Taking it up a notch.
Oh.
Steady on there, fucking, Sterling Moss. Let's just calm it down.
Oh, Val Doonican, what are you talking about? Fucking Sterling Moss. Young whippersnapper and your young heroes. What?
Yeah. Fucking John Glenn. I don't know what you want. Come on. So go on. And what have you done? What have you done? What have you done?
I've done fuck all. I haven't done anything at all. I've done nothing apart from, I don't know. I've been carrying on with the Joe Wicks thing, and it's hard to take a man seriously when he's complaining more than the actual person he's tried to teach to do the exercises.
Okay.
I'm standing like, it's a killer on the knees, and it's like, you're 20 fucking years younger than me, and I'm not complaining about my knees.
That's because your knees are bionic.
They are, yeah.
They
Actually,
were
Where I'm
replaced in-
going, I don't need knees. No,
Mhm.
it's I've done nothing. I've not done anything at all.
Mhm.
That's it. It's not been a very interesting week.
How's your
this
journey through the office?
My journey through the office has not sort of like continued
Oh.
this week, but it will be continuing next week. I should be
Right.
back on the horse with it. But yeah, this week just took a little break from watching stuff because I watched an awful lot of gear.
Right.
I've watched some pretty scary stuff concerning certain politicians as well.
Oh, God,
taking place in an
you-
election. What an idiot! Don't ever watch those programs, Darren.
Why? Just let it all roll over you. Just
yeah.
The world is ending. Have a laugh.
It's
Sort your
over
dish
there.
with-
It's not here. It's over there, Darren.
Yeah.
It's over there.
It's over there. Just sort your dishwasher out and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Sort it out.
My dishwasher made of wool.
Right.
Yeah, just to match Elton's one made of wood.
Okay. Right.
He's got wood and I haven't. So there you go.
Well, that's age, mate. That happens to all of us.
Indeed.
Right. Okay. Well, then, I guess it's up to me to save the day. Actually, no. I've done fuck all. And anything I could possibly talk about would probably lose my job. So I'm going to unfortunately have to bail on that conversation. By the way, didn't you visit Cinema Equidistant, Darren?
I was going to, right? I mean, the ticket is still valid.
I did and saw
Yes.
Alien and Uncle Remus, or whatever it's called.
Oh, Alien and Uncle Remus, yes. Oh, yeah.
The Remus play kit of Xenomorph films.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so we've all seen it. We've all seen it. Anyone want to answer me? Is this on? Hello?
Yes, we've all seen it.
Yes,
Right.
We've
have.
all been to Cinema Equidistant and
Equidistant.
watched it.
To see Alien remount. So, what did you think of it, Jim?
Well, I must admit, when I started watching it, I was thinking, I think Elton was a bit harsh calling this a load of old guff. I thought the spacey stuff looks nice, and I know the cast's a bit young, but it's better than just having more space truckers and more goddamn useless space marines. That's refreshing.
Yeah.
And it got to a certain point,
Mm.
and I thought, okay, if you just end the film here, I'll be happy.
Yep.
But they didn't, did they?
Oh, no.
No, they had to borrow from the worst Alien film, didn't they? For the grand finale we didn't need.
Yes.
And the one where H.R. Geiger famously said of the human-alien hybrid, they took my beautiful creature and made it look like a turd. Which was nearly right, because most British people thought, that looks like William Hague. Now, funnily enough, in this one, we get another human-alien hybrid, and my first reaction was, fuck me, that's Jacob Rees-Mogg on a nudist holiday.
Oh, my God. I can't understand.
Never, ever do human-aliens hybrids. They will look like the most loathsome Tory MPs every fucking
Oh,
time.
my God. I can't unsee that now. Oh, what have you done,
I'm
Jim?
not allowing myself to imagine that. No.
What have
Oh
you done?
God, no! Ah! I've now got more sympathy for Ray Stantz in fucking Ghostbusters now. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
my
it's kind
God.
of hard to keep that. Oh no,
It just popped in there.
oh, that's going to pop in there at the most inopportune moment as well.
Yeah.
That really is.
Well,
Yeah,
Oh.
No more sexy time for Barnard. Oh God.
Well, not for your.
Oh, I
age.
don't know. It's a difficult. No, anyway.
No, steady. We did that conversation last week. It didn't go down particularly well.
I heard he goes down. No.
Nope.
Anyway.
Nah, easy.
No, easy, steady.
Get back in your cupboard, Corky.
Oi, like I say, I can only get so hard.
Blood is draining from his head.
Can't think, brain draining. Oh, God.
I have forgotten recipes.
What? My name? Face look like Helen Daniels? Oh, anyway. Sorry, this is just a random evening, isn't it? So we actually put the kibosh on Elton saying anything because we didn't want him to spoil it for you, Jim. And now that you have seen it, I mean, did you actually? I mean, apart from Jacob Rees-Mogg at a nudist beach, I mean, what did you think of the rest of it?
I thought it was all right. It was a film I'd never really think it got out of second gear.
Mm.
And it just felt kind of like really
Yeah.
It felt like one of the lazier Dark Horse comics.
Yes, that's a very good. That's a very good one. That's a very
Felt
good reference.
very, very like kind of
Hmm.
you know. I know the first 2 runs are classic, but after that, they did an
Yeah.
awful lot more, which are pretty kind of.
Mm.
You wipe your eyes with them and you're done. You know.
Yes.
What was that about?
Yeah, I vaguely recall that thing. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, and yeah, so it was just nothing. It was there and it was gone.
I mean, the thing is, it was less than the sum of its parts. I think there were some nice ideas. I like the look of it. I like a lot of the space stuff. I thought it looked fantastic, and all being silent. Oh,
Yep.
love it.
Very nice.
But it just didn't. What it ended up to was something I'd really wish. I would be returning if I'd bought it in the shop. No,
Yeah.
I did not want a nudist Jacob Reed mug. You can take this back.
Take this.
These are
and
not the
fuck
shoes I ordered, sir.
off. I will not buy this record. It is scratched. Yeah. So we did put the kibosh on you a bit last week, Elton, for it. I mean, do you want to add anything now that you can actually speak freely without blinding Jim with your stuff?
Yeah, so Jim, it sounds like your appreciation runs deeper than mine.
Mm.
I think I quite liked the cast. I've got no problems in them.
No.
When it started getting Alien Isolation-esque, I was like, okay, fine. As soon as they start taking from other bits, then
Yeah.
I appreciate it less. I do not like the references thrown in Ten a Penny. I do not like the big reference towards the very end.
No.
That it's just pointless. Why? There's no need for that. And I thought the creatures looked crap. I thought they looked really, really bad.
Yes.
I thought they really. There's I think there's one moment where you're looking over its shoulder, and I thought, okay, that's kind of a Alien versus Predator type look.
Yeah.
I can bear with that, but there was close-ups, and it just looked awful. And so I understand why people turn around and say it's the third best, because not a lot of people like Alien 3. And
No.
I'm not defending it. And I think a certain people around that sort of time who watched it for the very first time, getting it out from a video store or anything like that, and me being one of them, I certainly enjoyed Alien 3. And I have a hidden love for that film.
Yep.
And I can't get rid of that. That's just one of them things that I'm stuck with.
Fine. It's fine.
But this, I don't get it. I don't see how that can be the third best one. It is a fan film. It always will be a fan film, and I think any films made from this point on will be just fan films. But that's one of them. That's the problem with the franchise now. I just found it hideous and tedious. I don't like the references all the way through.
No.
I know I said it about Star Wars, and I think I said it about Alien when me and Darren went to see Covenant as well. About I'm done with this franchise, and I kind of am. Yeah, I will still watch things from it, but I'm no longer invested in this anymore.
Yeah, well, I guess the problem is it's not being invested anymore. It's just seeing what they've come up with next, isn't it? That's the problem with all of this.
Yeah.
You just sit there going,
I'm intrigued.
Okay,
that's it. I'm not excited.
No, it's like driving past a car crash. You don't you really hate yourself for looking, but you can't help but have a little bit of curiosity as what you're going to see. And that's kind of where I am with it now. It's just like the next one's coming out. I mean, there's apparently there's another one on its way. There's the TV show. There's 2 Predator movies. I mean, it's just whatever, just
Yeah.
Let's.
Someone's clearly no longer listening to the likes of us anymore.
Oh God, no. That's been long gone.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, listening to fans is not necessarily a good thing either. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, no, see, if you do something the same, you get slated. If you do something different, you get slated.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised they don't even consider listening to fans anymore, because basically it's not so much a case of the tail wagging the dog. It's more like disassembling a dog in a fly-style transporter rag and having a dog jigsaw to work from. You know what I mean?
using a packet of bacon bits to reconstitute Peppa Pig. Yeah, I mean it's a right old mess.
I mean, I think the thing with Alien is kind of there's not a lot you can do with this damn thing.
No.
You can run around corridors and eat people, and there's not a lot else you can do with it. Anything else you do with it, it becomes ridiculous. And there's a limit to how much you just run around corridors and eat people.
Yeah.
See, that's one of my major problems with it. Because in Alien, you have Ash turning around and say, well, it's drawing all of its minerals from the air and the atmosphere. And they're like, okay, then that removes the point of it actually feeding on something.
Yeah.
And I love that, because that is weird. That is alien. That is crazy. That is hard for us to digest and understand.
Yeah.
And for then just to turn it into a monster that kills people, it's like, well, no, that's not what it is.
Well, that's the wrong turn they took at Aliens, the first sequel, to be honest.
Yeah. Preach.
Because they just become bugs. Whereas in the first one, you don't even know it's some sort of life form, but they've picked it up from this deserted spaceship that looks kind of like, is it a spaceship? Is it a cargo ship? Is it a fucking temple of some sort? We don't know. You know what I mean? And it's like a product of a different dark universe we know nothing about. And it had that edge of being kind of an eeriness. And the fact it was, it stated, that it becomes from a little squibby trespur to this full 7 foot tall guy, because it's kind of absorbed things from the ship, which is why it's got pipes and it's got the biomechanical look and all these kind of ideas that weren't like just exposition to death in the first one, but they were there, giving it an impact. Have all been sort of forgotten.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to see it on Friday. The very first Alien film. Marie has never seen it on the big screen, and we've got our local cinemas doing a special showing of it on the 1st November.
I was going to say, it's funny you should mention that, because I'm actually going to see the first one at the Prince Charles on the 8th. I can't remember.
Oh, right, okay.
Is it Sunday? Sunday the. I'm sorry, I'm just changing. I think it's. Oh God, I've completely lost it. I don't know where it is. I've lost my ticket. No. Okay, right, fine. Don't worry. You carry on. You talk amongst yourselves. I'll find my ticket, because I'm
maybe
now panicking.
it's fallen down the electronic sofa.
I bloody hope not. I paid proper money for that. Prince Charles, where's it? Prince Charles Cinema.
As opposed to fake money.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
Oh, Sunday the 10th of November. There you go.
Oh, here we are.
Add this event to your calendar. Thank you very much.
I won't spoil it for you then. All right, okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope that nice bunch of engineers get away with it, because they seem really cool dudes.
Oh, they do, don't they? I hear it's a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
I know there's something's born in it anyway. So
yeah.
You wait until George Lucas gets his hand on it; it'll start blinking by the end of the film.
Nodding at the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, giving it a bit of the nodding at the camera, big wink. Hey, it's Boba Fett. Oh, anyway. Anyway.
Look, he's on dances at Jabba's palace.
Yeah, it's gonna do a song and dance number for 20 minutes for no discernible reason. Right, okay, I'll tell you what. Let's leave it there with the alien chat, because if we're gonna if it's coming up again at some point in the future, I'm sure we'll get into it. I'm a little wary that looking back on Darren's now well curated list that we have, that we've done Aliens at least twice. We might want to just back it up a bit. But anyway, so I guess it's time for, as soon as we've still got plenty of time, I guess it's time for asking for trouble. You can tell I got bored trying to put that jingle together. Anyway, so asking for trouble, second week, hopefully with less wanking over cartoon cats. But as ever, people can ask us questions. Send it in, put them on the Asking for Trouble thread, which is at the top of the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/the Black Dog Podcast, or hit us up on Blue Sky, which is blackdogpodcast.bsky.app. No, bsky.social, I think it is. Just look for Black Dog Podcast. We're on there. You'll see Winston. And just fire us a message over there. And if you like, or send it into Facebook, to email, feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. But we have loads of questions, both silly, ridiculous, and not so ridiculous. So I'm going to start from the bottom of the list this time, so that I'm not going for ones where people are just asking whether or not I wanked over a cat. So the first one to come in was from Russ Fulks, sorry, who not Fulks as in Trey Fulks, just Fulks. Sorry, I'm going off
the cutlery questions are next week.
Yeah, cutlery questions. Yeah. So he says, and this is one. What's everyone's favourite bass lines or bass riffs?
Bass riffs.
Bass riff.
Ooh. Okay.
Go on, Elton. You sound like you got one ready.
Okay. Well, I think now this is going to be quite obvious for me.
Go on.
Anything that Chris Novoselic does in Nirvana, I think is very underrated. There's a lot of bass lines in there that are just get lost in the music.
Okay.
But they are awesome. The bass line to Wood by Alice in Chains is iconic at the very beginning. But whenever people ask me this question, which I've been asked on a number of times, actually.
Really?
Really. No,
Okay.
not really. I really love Alex James's bass line for Boys and Girls by Blur.
Right. Okay. Boys and girls. Oh yes.
It's
That's
subtle, but amazing.
Okie dokie. What about you there, Dow? I can hear you go.
I've got a couple that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
There's a track by Level 42. It's the title track of one of their albums. Actually, it's called World Machine.
Oh yeah.
Love that. Right, the opening for that. And there's also, of course, one of the most famous bass lines, Ace of Spades by Motorhead.
Oh,
That opening there is it's like Lemmy playing a fucking bass guitar like a normal guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. That.
Right.
Any others?
Oh, hold on. What's going on?
Fleetwood Mac, The Chain. I cannot miss that as
Oh,
well.
God, yeah, that's good.
Oh,
Well, if
right.
you're going classic, you got to mention Whole Lot of Love,
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and of course Shaft.
Ooh.
Oh, man, yeah. Any
Okay.
porn film.
Yeah.
The music for that. That's Actually, a track called Frankenstein, which is it sounds like music from a porn film, but it's an actual proper track. That's got a great sort of bass line
Okay.
along it. Honestly, it is. You listen to it and it's just like, fuck me, which fucking Debbie Does Dallas does this come out of? Honestly, I fucking love it. It's a great tune.
Mm.
It's instrumental, the whole thing. But yeah, there's a cracking bass line in that.
Okay. Well, I've got a few. Here we go. My first one, Peaches by the Stranglers.
Oh, God,
that's
yeah.
a good one.
Dum, dum, dum.
Yep.
Dum, 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 dum. And Money by Pink Floyd.
Oh,
Dum,
man,
dum,
yes.
dum,
That's a
dum,
solid
dum,
choice.
dum,
Yes, I
dum,
like
dum,
that.
dum. Yeah, come on. Bring them on.
Mhm.
They're pretty damn solid. And probably another one, Bites the Dust by Queen.
Yes.
Dum, dum, dum. Dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. We've actually answered a sensible question.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that.
Look at us, all grown up and everything.
All grown up and everything. Well, thanks for that, Russ. Let's go on to another
Hold
one.
on, that wasn't the full question, was it? It was, what's your favourite bass line to wank to? Is that what it actually was? Did the message suddenly cut off at the end? We didn't get the full thing.
In which case, it's Lessons in Love by Level 42. Dum, dum, ba, dum, dum, ba, dum, dum, ba, dum, 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 dum,
Oh,
dum.
no! Don't touch it. No.
What frightens me more is that I had that right in the back of my head, ready to go.
Did you?
Yeah, no,
You
it's,
should wipe it. No, sorry, I meant
No.
back
no,
of the
no.
head. Yeah.
Back of the head. Yep.
Anyway, so okay, the next one. Anne-Marie Organ said, "What's the scariest film you've ever seen?"
Oh, crikey.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh. See, I nearly picked it for this week. Oh,
Really?
yeah, but I think it's
Ooh.
more of a it scares Elton, it won't scare anyone else.
Well, that's the part of the question. That's it. What's the
Okay.
scariest movie you've ever seen?
It's really, really, really sad. Really sad. It's pathetic, but it scares the shit out of me. It's
Holiday on the Buses. Go on. Sorry, mate. Go on,
Wait,
carry on.
you got it. The McPherson tapes.
McPherson tapes. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Cool. Okay. And what? Why didn't you pick it for this week?
Because it scares me.
Isn't that the point of? Right. Okay.
King Edwards is giving him a fucking side eye at the minute.
Exactly. Fucking he's going to get a letter from Maris Piper saying, "Where were you, dude? We were hanging our sales off of you for this month." So okay then. So that's it. So the McPherson
Film was
tapes.
so scary it caused a second potato famine. Look at that. There we go.
So I'm going to come around to Jim last because I think that'll be the interesting one. But I'm going to go to you, Dal. What's your scariest film?
Man, I don't know if I've got a scariest film. I've got films that have got particularly scary bits in it. I'll tell you what, I'll go for this one, right? And it's
Go on.
just because of the ending. And it is...
Go on.
It's so simple. This is what's crazy about it. It's so low-tech special effects, but it sends a fucking shiver up my spine every time I see it. And that's Whistle and I'll Come For You, My Boy. The original with Michael Horden in it. It's the end scene in that, the culmination of it all. I'm sorry, it just freaks me the fuck out. It really does. It gets me every single time.
Nice.
Chills the shit out of me.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm trying to think of which one actually scared me. I know there's loads and loads and loads that have ever disturbed me in different places. No, we're not talking about wanking again. I'm talking about like certain ones, like the end of Borderlands, for example.
Oh God, yeah.
Or in the case of the original Salem's Lot with the kid hanging outside the window. So there's not so much a whole film scares me, but films that kind of
I would say that,
have moments. I think probably the most consistent one. I don't know. I guess the most consistent one for making me just be endlessly tense and end with a nightmare, and I just couldn't handle it, was Wreck. I think that was because I was completely unaware of what I was going to get into, and I know it's really a zombie movie, but that finale in the loft was just like, oh no. Oh
yeah!
No,
I've taken a wrong turn here, haven't I?
I regret all my life choices that have led to this point. But I don't think there's ever a specific film which I absolutely am scared by it. I think it's been a long time since I've been scared by a movie. I think probably the one. Yeah, I think early doors would have probably been something like Jaws, because scared as in I'm never going in the sea ever again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Beyond that, I can't really think of one. I mean, watching The Ring for the first time, the original Ringu, was just a horrible unease. But yeah, that's about it, I'm afraid. What about you, Jim? Do you have one? Because I'm really interested in someone as hardcore as yourself.
Well, it's one of those scary films. Is kind of the ones that actually over the years have actually got me and really got me to that point of where you go to bed, you turn out the lights, and then that scene or various scenes come back at you and think, I'm going to turn the light back on. I'm going to read for a bit instead.
Yeah.
They include the original Haunting, which
Okay.
I blundered into watching, not even knowing anything about it. I hadn't even heard of The Haunting.
Okay.
As a kid, it was on like midnight on BBC Two, and there was not a lot of sleep after that.
No.
And that still does have power to get me. Some scenes in that I think are very powerful.
Yeah.
I famously described my experiences actually very belatedly watching Ghost Watch when it came out on DVD, having not seen it, alone in a new house. And then at a key point, a cat started howling literally about next to the window next to my head, which freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah.
That put me in a big spin. The original Woman in Black.
Oh God, yes.
That one really, really got under my skin.
Okay.
Kind of like, whoa, some just really just eerie, unsettled vibes off that. Another one, a very obscure film, The Casebook of Eddie Brewer, which sadly you can't get anywhere.
Oh.
It was an independent sort of mockumentary about this old kind of grizzled amateur ghost hunter, and he gets basically sort of called in to investigate this council building where weird things have happened, and then got sort of sucked into doing a live vigil on Halloween night.
Oh, right.
And that's creepy. I mean, I got onto that because Stephen Falk recommended it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and that's a really good kind of layered ghost story, because as the more it goes on, it isn't just an ordinary haunting. It has personal connections to it.
Yeah.
There's some really freaky stuff in it. And because the other one that really put the crap up me was the Blair Witch Project.
Interesting, yes.
But it scared me more the second time, weirdly.
Really? That is interesting.
This is I've mentioned this before. Spoilers for Blair Witch, but you know the premise is that they find the backpacks and the footage sort of buried in like the foundations of a house that's long since gone.
Yes.
Yep. Well, when you're watching the movie in the third act, they find a house in the woods. And it was only the second time I watched it when I bought it on DVD and watched it Halloween night.
Yeah.
And at the time, I lived in a flat. There was like kind of above a shop. There was kind of up an alley.
Oh,
yeah. To like a park that was really overgrown and wooded. So it was like all the trees were like fucking swaying in the wind, giving extra ambience.
Nice.
And when we got to that third act, the penny dropped. It's something I hadn't figured out before.
That is
that house.
Yes.
That whole house is a ghost. Because it's Rustin Parr's house and it burnt down in the 1960s. It shouldn't be there.
That's
and that freaked me the fuck out. This rare film gets me a second time. But.
Yeah, I have to say I remember the being freaked out by the actual website.
Yes.
Remember that?
Remember the website, yes.
Because you turn it on and it actually used to play noises. So you'd be sitting there in the middle of the night reading all the documentary footage and all the police reports and everything, when you could disappear down a rabbit hole and not see 1,000 ads for Warner Brothers TV show or something. And then all of a sudden the website just goes and you're like, what the fuck is that? And it's, hold on, is that here? Is that my house? What? Yeah, that was. But that actually reminds me, it wasn't a film. The one thing that scared me, and I've probably mentioned this before, is a book by Dean R. Koontz called Winter's Moon. And basically, the whole point is it's essentially it's an alien invasion in the middle of a forest for this poor family who end up sort of in this cabin. But before they know what they're getting into, they find this diary. And the diary is of the previous owner. And essentially, I used to read these books because Kuntz's books you can just blast through in a day.
Oh,
He's like,
God,
you
yeah.
just-
The Watchers.
The Watchers, you can just zoom through them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was Christmas, and I had this one, Winter's Moon. I'm sitting there lying in bed, and I'm reading this thing. And it gets to this whole thing about the diary entry of the previous owner. And so the idea is he goes into the forest, and he makes a diary entry that he sees this big, black, two-dimensional circle just hanging in the forest. Now, this is before Event Horizon or any of that stuff. And at the foot of this big black orb is a dead bluebird. Anyway, he then sort of notices that the orb is still there, and he kind of can't touch it, and he can't go near it. But he gets the sense that there's something in there looking back at him. And he goes back to his cabin, and he's like, that's damn peculiar. The next day, the orb is still there in the forest, miles out in the forest. Except now he notices that at his window is a rat looking through the window. But it's not just looking through the window, it's looking through the window as if it's looking at him specifically. It's studying him. And then after a while, it nosebleeds and just dies. And then he's sort of like, well, that's fucking odd. So he notes that down in his diary. And then the next day, he notices that there's a pigeon. And it does the same thing. It stares at him through the window and dies. And then it's a squirrel the day after. The day after that, it's a bobcat. The day after that, it's a deer. The day after that, it's a moose. Then what happens is his wife comes to visit him because he's like a park ranger. And she sees like this moose staring through a fucking window and has a heart attack. And this moose sort of bleeds out and dies. And the bloke's like, I don't know what this is, but I'm taking studies, Margaret, and all this sort of thing. And then she sees it, freaks out, heart attack, dies. He's writing this diary entry that, you know, he's heartbroken. He's called the authorities. They're going to take like a good couple of days to get to him because he's out in the forest. And then the next day, through the window, he notices that his wife's grave's empty. And he hears knocking on the door. And it's like, oh my God. Whatever that thing is through that hole is now controlling dead Mrs. Ranger Lady. And as I was getting to that bit, and he goes to open the door and then writes the final entry of like, you know, if you find this and you see the black hole, just run, sort of thing. And as he writes it, my nan, who was staying with us, came through the door with no teeth into my bedroom asking for a glass of water.
Oh
I
my
nearly
God.
fucking shit the bed. I have never been so scared. It was an immersive experience, let's just put it that way. Because it's like, and then I reached for the door, and then all of a sudden my nan comes in with no teeth going, hey, could you go downstairs and get us a cup of water? It's like, fucking hell, nan. Ah! So, yeah. So, if you are going to read Dean R. Kuntz's Winter's Moon, it's not really that good a book, but if you do, you know, do have an old lady on hand to scare the shit out of you right at the last minute of the diary entries around about fourth or fifth chapter in, because yeah, it's effective. Right, one more question.
By the way, I've actually thought of one
Go on.
actual proper full-on, I suppose you could call it a film.
Go on.
Now, this caused me trauma throughout the 80s, or for however long it was that I saw it for a number of years, when I used to question any engine noises I heard in the sky.
Okay.
It's like, is this it? Is this World War III?
Oh God.
And that was Threads.
Oh my Lord.
Watching that, I can understand why that increased the membership to CND.
I can
when
bet.
it was broadcast. But yeah, that really gave me all kinds of fucking nightmares.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be watching that again. We watched that for the cast once, didn't we?
We did,
Yes.
and it's always good to watch it during a bright summer's day, so that you can watch it and go outside and listen to the birds singing and see the blue sky and appreciate the
Yes.
the world as it is and the condition it's in, and not
Yeah.
the one that's in the fucking film.
Da, 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 jump through the hoops, skip through the fields, smiling. Yeah.
Do you know
that's
what? Two things I remember especially from that is the
Mm.
woman wetting herself as they see the mushroom cloud in the distance,
Oh,
and
yeah.
also the was it the traffic warden
Yeah.
as well. That his face with the bandages across it and the fucking is it an AR-15 or something he's got in his arms.
Right.
That
Ugh.
those two
Odd.
things. Oh, and the very end as well. Fucking hell. Oh, what a cheerful film. Okay,
Ugh.
sorry, I'll shut up there.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm just trying to see if we got a quick answer one because we're coming up for 50 minutes. Right, I tell you what, let's go to this one. I don't know if we'll get much out of this one, but we'll give it a go. And this will be the last one for today. Murray the Pie Man Christensen. If you could travel back in time to any era, what thing that modern technology, medicine has rendered benign is going to kill you before you can make the locals worship you as a god? Because they've never seen a smartphone. So,
Oh right. Ooh.
what's going to kill you if you go back to any time?
Yeah.
What thing that modern medicine has probably? I think what he's saying is what have you been saved by with modern medicine, but you can't be anymore because you've gone back in time and it's going to kill you.
Oh, I see. Okay. Ooh.
You're our
Blimey.
resident time traveler, Elton.
Oh
What's-
God. Okay.
Go on.
I'm just trying to think what I had pneumonia when I was a kid.
Okay.
I don't know whether that's been sorted or not. I don't think so. You
Well,
can still catch
antibiotic-
that, can't you?
You
But,
can still catch it, but antibiotics would take care of it. So if you travel back in time
yeah,
to before antibiotics, you'd be dead.
yeah. Pneumonia would have killed me, definitely.
Okay. Well, this is a very cheerful way to play out. I think I would probably have died because rapid medicine and rapid response vehicles don't exist in any time before now, and tetanus jabs weren't readily available. So I think any one of my DIY journeys for the last 20 years, if I went back further than 20 years, I would have been dead.
Yeah.
I think gluing my arse shut, dead. Sticking a 12-inch nail through my foot because I was taking a shed down, dead. That's
Dead.
it. Tetanus got me. Yeah. I don't think there's any time I could travel back to. I'm literally only alive because of the era I was born in. I think if I went back to the 60s, dead. That's it. What about you, Jim?
Well, pretty much the same. I mean, I very nearly died when I was just over a year old when they found out I had asthma. And they found out I had asthma because I had a massive asthma attack and had to be rushed to hospital and kept in.
Oh, shit.
And indeed, I've had several other asthma attacks in my childhood where it was only for having, big like steroid injections, high cortisone ingestions that allowed me to keep breathing and not die. So,
right. Oh well, yeah. I
so
was
there
going to
you
say
go.
that. Any time other than now, I think we'd be dead. So, what about you then, Dal?
Oh, blimey. And this might sound a bit strange, but having my tonsils removed.
Okay.
I had problems with that, you see, because I've actually got, and it actually got classed as being a bit of a problem. And then they did some more tests later on in my life and realised that it wasn't such a big deal anymore. I've got a clotting disorder.
Okay.
So I used to take longer to stop bleeding than most people. So, you can literally call me a right bleeder. Literally. I know she's not a dead joke.
I was going to just call you a clot.
my throat, when I had my tonsils out at Hither Green Hospital, what was Hither Green Hospital when it still existed, and the wound never completely, it didn't heal properly for a while, and I remember Mum and Dad had to call for an ambulance to come and get me because my throat started bleeding again.
Oh, blimey.
And little did I know it had been bleeding all this time. And so blood was building up within my stomach, right? Anyway,
Okay.
these two ambulance blokes came and got me. They lifted me out to take me down to the ambulance to get me back into hospital because they knew I wasn't going to stop bleeding anytime soon. And I threw up. And it was like a scene from The fucking Exorcist,
Wow.
right? It was just blood. That was it.
Blood.
It was everything. Blood.
Because you're
blood,
just swallowing blood.
and bits of sick. No, but it was just blood. There were clots and everything in it. It was nasty.
Wow.
But so I think, like you, if we're talking about things like ambulances, thank fucking the maker for that. For those.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, wow.
So anything before World War II, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, yeah. If anything before 1945, we'd all be dead. Is essentially it. Is what we're saying.
And on the other side of that, I'm actually allergic to penicillin as well.
As am I.
Hey, there you go.
Mm.
The allergic to penicillin club. Woo!
Yeah, that I knew we had
Avengers Assemble. Absolutely no good in a fight whatsoever.
Yeah,
just
truly,
in case you get infected with something.
Truly the shittiest of superheroes.
Jesus Christ! Yeah,
penicillin resistance man. Yeah,
indeed.
Okie dokie. Well, there you go. Nice cheerful one to end on. Well, actually, or we could end on what's the best in life.
What's the best in life?
Yeah, from Jeffrey Mark Hyman, which I can give you the answer. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women. That's the best in life. There you go. So we'll leave that there, unless anyone else has got anything they would rather answer.
That's such a wide question.
It is.
Wow.
I think that's it. I think he was after us doing a Conan the Barbarian thing.
Oh, I got one though. Tunnock's tea cakes, when left in a fridge for a little while, so the chocolate on the outside goes crunchy, right? And that little snapping sound when you bite through it.
You beast. That's just wrong.
Just that, that.
Really?
Oh,
so
suits you, sir. Ooh.
So you had my Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan the Barbarian, and you trumped it with Tunnock tea cake.
Tunnock's tea cakes left in the fridge for a while till the chocolate shell goes fucking hard, and then it's that little snap as you bite through it.
Okay, well then, the floor's open now. Jim, have you got what's the best in life?
A well-organised cutlery drawer, of course.
Nice. Nice. Callback. Elton, final word on this before...
I cannot top anything that anyone has said, so I'm bowing gracefully out of this one.
Not even the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier?
Oh, don't.
There you go, see? There you go. Sometimes you just have to look inside, Elton, see what you really need.
Indeed. Look into your heart, Elton. Look into your heart.
Yeah. Exactly. Feel it inside.
The USS flag.
USS flag.
Listen to your heart when he's calling for you. Listen to your heart. There's nothing else you can do.
I don't know where you're going.
And I don't know why, but listen to your heart before he tells you goodbye.
Bing, 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 bing. Anyway, right. We'll leave it there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first successful, I would say, asking for trouble. If anybody else would like to send us an asking for trouble, jump on the Facebook group, throw on go up to the pinned posts at the top under featured, where you can see all four of us looking delightfully at your pictures, and then just leave a question, and I will tell you it's been answered once it's been answered, and in the thread. Or you can send it into feedback@blackdogpodcast.com or on Blue Sky. Hit us up on there, which is blackdog.bsky.social. Right, we'll leave it there. We'll draw a quick veil over this. We'll go get ourselves a cup of tea, and then we'll come back for this week's film, Terrifier. Oh, no, the ladies, here they are. They're dancing in the flames.
Dressed as clowns this week.
Cows? Oh, and dancing more cows. Oh, look at them. Oh. What are they doing in that shed? Hello.
I already came for a kebab.
I'm so glad I got that clean. That's going to be the end track now forever, Jim. Replacing the bollocks. Only cake. Nice. Thank you very much for that. Right. Anyway. Oh, Terrifier. Yes, Terrifier. Let me just make sure I'm still recording. Yes. Why won't I open this same window? There you go. Right. Okay. So, Terrifier is a 2016 American independent slasher film written and directed by Damien Leone. The film stars Jenna Cannell, Samantha Scalfidi, David Howard Thornton, and Catherine Corcoran. The plot centers around partygoers Tara and her sister Victoria, who became targets of an enigmatic serial killer known only as Art the Clown. Yeah, that's pretty much all it needs to say, really, because that's the plot. It's literally the plot, start, finish, end. The film had a budget of $35,000. How much did it make at the box office, Darren?
A pizza and one ring made of tin.
Nice. Jim?
604 million dirty protests.
Writing shit on the inside of a lid. Okay. And Elton, what about you?
One kitchen hygiene poster.
Nice.
Because you're going to need it.
Nice. Well, unfortunately, you're all wrong. It was actually one Saw feminine hygiene product. Actually, no, it was $420,000. So it
Itchy Fanny.
Itchy Fanny. Caniston. Terrifier. Sponsored by Caniston. Right. Anyway, let's get down to it. We'll go through the non-spoiler section. Not that there is I don't think you can actually spoil this film, but let's just do what we do.
Stick with tradition.
Stick with tradition. And without spoilers, let me know what you think of this film. Obviously, Elton, this was your pick, so you go last.
Okay.
So, let's start with you, Dal. What did you think of Terrifier?
I think this film has confirmed that I'm done with slasher films. I'm just completely fucking done with a lot of them.
Right.
It's the same old cut and paste.
Pardon the pun.
Oh, the bad guy's been killed. Oh no, he's not killed. He's sat up. Oh, and he's killed everyone else, and everyone else is dead. Oh, there's a surprise. Oh, so the only thing different about this film is the fact that it was a bloke dressed as a clown. There's nothing special at all here. It's the same old same old stuff.
Right.
And we were both sat here watching it, and we were both like, at the 40-minute mark, I thought, oh, there's still another 40 minutes to go. Ah, God, no. Fucking hell. Can you just end it now, please? Honestly, I that was it. 40 minutes was enough for me on this, but I watched it to the end, but
Okay.
God. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Peace out, mofos.
Peace out, mofos. Okay. Jim, what did you think?
Okay, so these films have a certain reputation,
Yep.
shall we say? And I was kind of, I'm not sure this is kind of for me anymore. You know what I mean? I know, but I was a bit kind of, oh, it's going to be one of these, like, you know, nasty films that's going to annoy me or disturb me. But after the first scene, I thought, I know where we are. This is. If you go a bit further down that road, there's Bad Taste and Brain Dead. And the film didn't really disappoint me in that. It kind of, there's some stuff that sound awful on paper, but the actual execution is actually, maybe I'm a bad person. I found it funny.
Okay.
But you know what I mean? I mean, this is basically the 21st century equivalent of the old Friday the 13th films. And
Right.
I think that's what it was going for anyway, in fairness. But I think that's what it is. And much like the Friday the 13th films, there's a lot of kind of, oh, they're so sick and depraved. And it's kind of, actually, they're fairly silly.
Okay. Cool. Well, I was watching it, and I was trying to think, how am I going to put across what I feel about this film? So I thought, what I'll do is I'll write it down. So I've written down a few notes. So you'll have to forgive me on my one. It might be a bit verbose. There's no spoilers, but here's what I thought. This is not merely a film. This is a visceral, blood-drenched symphony of horror that reaches the rarefied heights in its audacious commitment to the terror. Art the Clown is a silent savant of sadism, does not appear to be simply on screen. He dominates it, gliding through each scene with malevolence so exquisite it verges on art. Damien Leone's direction is pure, unfiltered dread. Each frame is a baroque tableau of gore, each shadow trembling with violent promise. The gore here isn't merely shocks, it's expressionism. It's a grim ballet of colour and chaos that transforms brutality into something transcendent. In an era where horror treads lightly, Terrifier stands as a bold, unapologetic manifesto to fear. To experience it is to confront the sublime in its darkest forms. It's a resplendent nightmare for those brave enough to gaze into the abyss.
Who the fuck are you? What have you done with Lee Metcalf?
Is what I would have said if I had.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
If I hadn't written into ChatGPT, please write a comedically sarcastic review of Terrifier based on Brian Sewell, the art critic, which is exactly what it did, and is exactly what you heard there. There was two versions. The other one was another 12 pages long, and
What?
I frankly fucking hated this film beyond belief. It was tedious. It was. I think you got it right there, Jim. You said it was silly, and that's exactly what it was. It was just silly and nasty, and just decided that, you know what, characters, plot progression, that's for. It was like Garth Marenghi. It's for wimps. Just don't. You want to know who these people are? Don't fucking care. Let's just get the clown to chop them up. Do we care about these people? No. It's kind of approached the slasher film in more of the kind of like 80s kind of, you actually want to see the slasher more than you want to see the people he's after. So have at it. And that's about it. Oh, we might throw in some tits and a lot of up close gore And yeah, that's about it. I literally ran out of words after I went, oh. So I went up to ChatGPT and just wrote, I don't like this film. Please write something incredibly sarcastic in the tone of Brian Sewell, a pretentious, overly erudite film critic who really loves this film. And it went, okay. And I was like, that'll do. Thanks very much.
Did a very good job. I'm quite impressed, actually, I must say.
Yeah, I was.
My world was starting to crumble. I was questioning reality as I was listening to that. It's like, is he fucking serious? I almost went, Lee, stop being a cunt.
But anyway, yeah. Oh, you could have had the other option, which had Art the Clown, our mute, malevolent maestro, doesn't just merely inhabit the screen; he commandeers it, dancing through scenes of astonishingly vivid bloodshed with an elegance that borders on the sublime. It's not enough to call him a character; he's an elemental force of a nightmare conjured into the waking world, wielding a gleeful malevolence that harkens back to both Goya's grotesqueries and Bosch's macabre reveries. Terrifier does not shy from brutality. It revels in it with a shameless audacity that is both unnerving and, dare I say, commendable.
Wow.
You got to get hold of ChatGPT to write some bullshit, man, because it's very good at that. Anyway,
you said AI is not good for anything. Yeah,
yeah, and I said thank you very much, and it said that's good because I'm glad you didn't like the film because it seemed like nobody liked the film. It's like, thanks AI, I've been validated.
Jesus Christ, the Terminator's just told you exactly. Wow, it's agreed with you.
Exactly. If Skynet turns up with the same taste in films, I think I'm going to be all right. So, Elton, what about you? What did you think of this?
How do I top that? I don't top that. So I'll just go with my top draw review on this thing. It's harking back to 1980s slasher movies, definitely.
Yeah.
But it in a paint by numbers type thing, where it's taking all the stuff that has been done before and just regurgitating it in the form of a clown. Now, I don't mind Art the Clown during this film. I think when you see him, I think he is the best thing on the screen at that time, definitely. And I think it works because he is silent and there is no noise from him whatsoever. It's just the smiles and the presentation of his face in certain poses, which is just it's comical, but I think that works, and I think that's the highlight of the movie. I think this is shockingly terrible, really, really bad, badly acted all the way through, and it cheats as well. I don't mind it cheating because it does it a bit dirty, but I guess we'll get into that later. But it does cheat, and the way it does is underhanded, but it kind of works a little bit. Right. It's a big pile of shit, but it has the start. It feels like someone went, I want to create a franchise. How do I do that? Clowns are scary, aren't they? Halloween's scary, isn't it? Saw made a lot of money, didn't it? Okay, let's do that. And now they've got their franchise. And that pleases me because next year we're doing Terrifier 2.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, yes. Oh, you've pulled a pin on something here. So I want easy weeks. And yes, I'm going to be doing all the films from now to eternity.
Well, that's good. I think I should pay for the subscription to ChatGPT 4 then, and just get it to read out my reviews. Because there's no way I'm watching 3 more of these fucking things.
But it's not very good at all. But I think it's an easy watch, especially around with friends on Halloween night. It has a purpose. it's a fun, stupid ride, but I didn't detest it. I had a bit of fun with it, and so I can only commend it in that.
I mean, no offense, Elton, but Gardener's World is an easy watch. This is not an easy watch.
Really? Is it? Is it though?
I can sit there and watch Monty Don and the dog just putter around in a garden. That's something you don't even have to pay attention to, rather than someone getting sawed up the fanny by a bandsaw. I mean, let's not.
Are we doing spoilers now?
I guess we are.
Spoilers.
Send the lift out.
Hold on. Here we go. Spoilers. There we go.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Shut up, Wesley.
Anyway, there you go. That's
Can
spoilers.
I just say, by the way, right? Okay, you've got a film that shows lots of blood and gore and people having their eyes fucking put out and stuff like this. You have a woman hanging upside down with no bra or top on or anything like this, and then it goes to the bit where he pulls off her knickers, and suddenly, oh, that's a bit offensive. We better just turn the camera to the back. It's like, why did you bother? Why not just go for broke? You know, just do it.
That's down the weird way American film classification works.
Oh God, isn't it just?
There's a very good documentary called "This Film Is Not Yet Rated,"
Yes.
which goes into it, and some of the what you can show, what you can't show, and what they consider beyond the pale is just really just fucked up and mental. It makes no sense.
Hey, me and Lee have seen the American version of RoboCop, right? The one that they put out. Okay, we know, right? We've seen firsthand what their censorship rules are like.
Real
You're
airheads.
bad by the crusher. Yeah.
Blow this stuff so far up your nose. You'll be. Okay. Well, I suppose let's get down to it. I mean the thing with the censorship with it. Okay. Let's just ask you a quick question. Would you have wanted to see that?
Well, no, but it's just the fact that that's the one thing out of everything else they fucking do, that's the one thing that they censor in the film. And it's like, why are you even bothering? You know? What is the point? Seriously, at this stage.
I don't know. I mean, I mean, there's probably a proper discussion to be had, which that wouldn't involve us four idiots trying to sound like the Brian Sewell Chat GPT. But I mean, to be quite honest, there's kind of for me, there's kind of lines you don't cross, isn't there? I mean, you can show blood and gore because it's theatrical and stupid and it's over the top. But if you start, basically taking a bandsaw to the baby maker.
No, that's not the thing no, it's the fact that he just pulls the knickers off, and it's like not that there's much left to the imagination while she's hanging there with the parent. It's the fact that they've shown almost everything else, and there's people getting killed and like sawn in, and it's the most offensive thing they can think of is a full naked woman's body, and it's like, mate, I think you need to go back and redress, have a look at everything else you've done in this film. Because I think you might find that maybe on the scale of things, that's not the worst thing you could have censored. Why? That's what I don't understand. Why bother?
Tell us what you wanted to see, Darren.
Yes, come on.
Go on.
Yeah, what?
Do you want to see her foo-foo?
That's no. It's the fact that's the one thing that they actually censored. That's it. It's like, well, that's fucking ridiculous.
That's American censorship rules for you.
Yeah, that's like having
you can blow people's heads off, but if you say fuck when you're doing it in the wrong certificate, you're out of town.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's like having a gun battle, right, in a film. You see people get their eyeballs shot out and stuff like this, and they're turning a can of Coke at a right angle because, can't show the Coke name because that would be wrong. It's just, Why are you fucking bothering? It just that's it.
I can just think of Darren in the cinema standing up in anger, going, "You might as well show her fanny now. Show it. I've seen everything else."
On the grand scale of things, as I say, that was not the worst thing they could have censored in all of that. You know, it really could. That's it. You know, why not actually just show her from behind anyway for the full thing? Why? You know, you've shown the front. You've shown that she's topless.
You are starting to sound like Patrick Stewart in Extras. And
But I've seen everything.
She's upside
I
down.
can see everything.
And I can see everything. And then I walked across the grass.
As you say, the censorship rules for what you can and can't see are fucking so unbalanced. It's just ridiculous.
Is it not that thing of if you don't see it, then your mind makes it worse, and then you have for the female.
What? Don't see the what? So
Well, I don't know how close you want to go. Do you want to see the blade touch the fanny?
That's not the point.
Or do you just want to see a bit of bush?
No, that's not the point I'm making here, right? Okay, you've seen people stick their fingers into people's fucking eye sockets, right? You even see getting sliced in half as well, right? But the worst thing that they can think of in this film, the thing that they must censor, is when he pulls the knickers off. It's like, mate, you really need to go and reevaluate your life. I think if this thing here is the thing you censor.
Well, that's external though. That's down to the MPCA or whatever it is. It's not down to the filmmakers.
It's crazy. It's just you can
It's
show
lunacy,
people
I
getting
mean.
their fucking brains blown out and stuff like that. But when it comes to that kind of thing, it's like, oh no, that's terrible. You mustn't show that.
I say in this film, you're not rated. It's a very funny sequence where they talk about making Team America. And the problems that they had with that about puppets having sex.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't have genitalia and showing too much of that when there's actually nothing to be seen other than blank bits of plastic.
Yeah.
I like the cap said the fucking lunacy of it. You know what I mean?
It is fucking bonkers.
I mean, it's, you know, let's just think about this here. I mean, the NC-17, which is our equivalent of the 18 rating, says that anyone under the age of 17 can see this film as long as they're accompanied by an adult. I mean,
Jesus H.
so, you know,
fucking hellfire, really?
yeah. So really, let's just sort of draw a line under it with it when it comes to the censorship, because the censorship is just fucked. You know, R-rated.
Yeah, it is.
R-rated, you know, same thing. It's like you can go and see a film as long as you're accompanied by an adult. It's just right.
That makes it all better.
You need social services on the doors of the cinemas now.
Yep. So yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, as far as the censorship is concerned, I think the words "it's fucked" is standing right there. But I mean, let's get into the actual film itself, because I mean, not that there's an awful lot to talk about, to be honest. I mean, did you like the format? Because I know on one side of the fence you do have these slasher movies where you get to meet all the cast of characters before they get knocked off one by one. And, you know, on that side of the fence you go, oh, come on, let's just get to the killing. I don't like these people. I don't care. But then on the other hand, you think, when we get to this one, it's literally like an electrician turns up, spends 20 minutes sitting in a car, moaning, picks up a key, opens up a door, gets a knife through the top of the head, and that's the end of it. He's out. It's like, who is this person?
Strange one, though, isn't it? Because you have at least 25 minutes of building up these two main women in this film, and also the clown. And you can clearly see the clown is just a normal person putting on his makeup, getting ready to go out and do a bit of killing. Go cause some havoc somewhere, which is fine. And it does turn into a haunted house slasher type movie, which is fine. but it takes its while getting there. And then when it wants to throw new characters in, it's done very, very poorly. Like the electrician walking up, trying one door, and then phoning saying, "I've tried all the doors around here and I can't get in." He's like, "No, you haven't. Have you tried the other doors?" "No, I don't think you have." But it seems rushed in some parts, and it drags out in other parts. The build up between in the cafeteria or the Pizza Hut place, where they're sat there. I quite like that slow burn. I think that works. But there's also the walk to the car and then the stuff in the car, and it's all this similar sort of stuff happening that you've already seen, but they're just repeating it again, and it doesn't feel like it's needed for that build up. This film doesn't warrant this amount of build up to just kill people like that.
I'd agree. I think it feels like a short film that's been extended.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, on one hand, I kind of do like the kind of, all right, we know what you're really here for. Well, I'm not going to waste your time.
Yeah.
With pointless character stuff. And I do appreciate that. But I think just kind of the pacing of the plot could be sort of a bit better. It is sort of really clunky in places where it really, I mean, I appreciate the fact that he's not doing character, but he does do a good bit of slow burn and a good bit of cat and mouse.
Yeah.
And I think if overall it was better orchestrated, everything would have more impact. But it's one of those things. It is kind of, I was pretty sort of, I mean, I had sort of fun watching this because it did take me back to watching similar sort of Drek in the 80s. You know what I mean? And it seems to be a film. It's ideal to say put on at a Halloween party. No one has to pay too much attention. You just keep one eye on the screen. Hey, and that's what all was made for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of, I mean, on the upside, it's not pulling an Eden Lake on you where it's pretending to actually have something to say. This movie's got fuck all to say, and it knows it, and it doesn't care. And after Eden Lake, I think that was kind of almost refreshing. You go, we're going to see some stupid, nasty shit, and it's going to be ridiculous and over the top. And it's kind of, okay, go for your life, lads. Fair dues. Yeah. You're not jerking my chain claiming it's social commentary or any of this bollocks.
Yeah, how about it?
It is, there's sort of like a base honesty about it. It's not artistic. It's not clever. But, it's saying, but I'm not trying to be granddad. You know what I mean? It's really sort of a bit punk rock gob in your face.
Yeah.
My old sort of joke about, it's kind of the worst sort of heavy metal records, which they might as well just call themselves, Poo Bum Wank and a Picture of the Devil. Because it's just going to hit those bad taste buttons, you know what I mean? And be like, we're nasty, yeah. If it's all a bit of a laugh, you know what I mean? They're not trying to make a Serbian film here.
No.
They are trying to, make something like the old sort of Friday the 13th movies where it is kind of, it's nonsense, but you know what I mean? It's kind of, I mean, it's like cheap lager, you know what I mean? Not brewing a fine wine of horror here. This is a 6-pack, sold cheap in the supermarket to enjoy with your mates,
I'll be honest with you, it's going to sound weird, but it was just, it's like gonzo porn. It's like you can get porn which is where it's kind of like it draws it out, it brings out a story, puts soft focus on everything. It goes on for 20 minutes of someone walking down a street before they meet someone else and all this kind of stuff, and it's got pretensions. Whereas gonzo porn is like the entire video is like 3 minutes. It knows what you want. It knows what you want to see. You don't even want to hit the fast forward button. Here it is. And Terrifier is like that. It's like gonzo porn for horror freaks. It literally is just like, you look, come here. You don't give a fuck about these people, do you? I don't give a fuck about these people. You just want to see them get chopped up, don't you? And you want to have some kind of iconic killer do it, right? Yeah. Okay. we aren't going to explain the rules. Let's just get on with it, shall we? It's like, okay.
Mhm.
Who is this person? I don't care. What's happening? I don't care. Have they just had a thumb put through their eye? Yes. Whee! Clap. That's it. I'm done. But the problem, the film itself falls when it tries to actually go the other way. When it actually tries to do something. When it tries to build up tension and terror by having people sit around and just stare at each other and gabble nonsense, or do silly kind of, no, we have to stay indoors, and we have to worry about these things, and we got to have a conversation, and I don't trust that guy, he looks really creepy. It's like, right, okay. I would have been better if he just not even bothered at this point, because and I know what this is all about, and just fucking get on with it. And when it actually tries to put a plot in there, it just wastes time.
Yeah, I don't think there is any plot. I think the plot comes in the last 2 minutes, really, where he's killed himself,
Mm.
and then something happens, and he's all back, and now you have your franchise born, and that's okay. Now all the gloves are off for the next movie because now he can't die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when I mean, I know it's a bit late by then, but that's when I finally completely checked out, because it was just like, oh, here we go. We've done horror movie slasher bingo, and we've just speed run it. We're not even gonna bother. We're not even gonna bother to the next movie. We're just gonna go straight for it. Yeah, he's immortal now. Thanks very much. Good night. And he's like, oh, all right then.
Yeah, because I haven't seen the others, and I don't plan on until next year. But I would think that you would lose something, because you'd lose the personality. The guy's got a bit of personality. This is just a deranged person going out and doing this, and that adds a bit of personality to what's going on, because he goes bonkers at some points where he's just physically jacking off on this and contorting his body all over the place. But now it's gone supernatural. I think that takes away from what you've just created. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next one. We'll find out in 360 odd days.
From what I've gleaned from, because I'm intrigued, but I like the Crown character, and I think David Howard Thornton, who plays him, is the best. He's the best thing in it, and the idea you have this killer where he can have actually expression, not a blank mask, works very well. But apparently, so I'm not wanting to delve too deeply because I'm avoiding spoilers, because I am going to watch the second one now. I've just got to. I'm intrigued. But apparently he has plotted out, like, I don't know how many parts, but you learn something more about Art and his backstory in every movie.
Right, okay.
And there is, and he's plotted it out in advance of where it's all going. So it's kind of, all right, I'm intrigued, because part of the fun of these films is kind of the lore. You know what I mean? It's kind of, part of the fun of like the Friday the 13th series is that because no one was planning jack shit, the lore is all over the place, leaving all these sort of like stupid continuity problems, the kind of things that fans love to play with. You know what I mean? Try to make sense of something that was no plan at all.
Yeah.
But as he's staying in control of this franchise, and he has got this plotted out that you're going to learn a bit more about Art and what he is and what he isn't and stuff. He's kind of, okay, that's fair play to you. I like someone who's got a plan for this thing. That makes a change in slasher films. Because normally just make it up as you go along.
They didn't do it with Saw, did they? They had the film that went gangbusters, and I think that got bigger than what anyone absolutely thought that was ever going to be. And then they had to create this kind of law that they had to go back on and keep bringing back a certain person because, we haven't quite finished with you yet. We'll just have to go back another 10 years and see what you did before this, because it's all linked.
Yeah. All I'm saying with the Saw movies is that guy had no money. He could have made it by being a fucking chess player, given the amount of years back he went to predict stuff that was happening 20 years after he fucking died.
You'd put a few bets on the GGs, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Straight down the horses.
That's how he financed it all, of course.
Yeah,
it all makes sense.
Can I tell you when I thought it nearly lost me as well? Where I thought it cheated.
Go on in, yeah.
So you have all the slasher, you have the slow catch, you have like the bag scene where he puts a bag over a woman's head, and you think, well, just rip the bag, and then she does it, and he's like, I don't know, just miming behind her, I suppose. But it's all this slow burn type chase, which is fine. I think it suits the genre. But then you have the scene where he just shoots the girl.
Yeah.
And that is not part of the slasher genre, I don't think, anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the slasher is the slow chase, it is the cut tendons, it is the slow bleed, it is blood everywhere, it's slowly incapacitating your victims and torturing them slowly until they get the upper hand and beat you. And in this, it happens up until the point where he's like, do you know what? I'm going to lose here. Bang, shoot her. And that is around about halfway through the movie. And you're like, oh, I don't know if you cheated there or not. And I did ponder on it. I don't know what you guys thought about that.
Well, I think that because you have this character, you think she's going to be the final girl. And I think what he's doing is kind of what Hitchcock did in Psycho. Because you think Janet Leigh's a star. Oh, we've killed her. And now it hands over to her sister. And I think that's what he was going for. And also he added the twist of kind of like, it's going to, all right, action. She's getting out of hand and they're fucking around. I'm just going to shoot her in the head. Done. And that isn't the done thing and not the expected thing. And I found that was kind of, that's interesting because, that's not just doing the same old. And I think whether the other films are interesting when he's more supernatural, I might find out. But in this, I did like the idea that he is actually seeming an ordinary guy. Fucking demented, but he is ordinary and he can actually be, if you cut him, he will bleed and he doesn't just shake things off and he has to come and find you. He won't just teleport behind you like...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'd kind of pretty much checked out of the movie once I realised how it was playing its game. So the idea that it was cheating kind of was a bit. At that point, I was just like, yeah, right. I mean, go for it, have at it, have fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are people who like this film. And clearly by the fact it's it's into its third and it's making money hand over fist, whereas something like Joker, which had a budget that was like 20 times its size, 20 times the size of Terrifiers, and has barely made anything. I mean, it tells you that there is definitely there's a sweet spot for making movies which just do what they're supposed to do. Just like I say, just porn movies for slasher fiends, and it's like, well, fine. I personally didn't start thinking about it that deeply. The only thing that came to my mind all the way through was when I mean, Darren, you might remember this. I used to buy Fangoria every month back in the days when I was in secondary school, and there were two types of Fangoria reader. There was the ones who read it for the articles about like how the special effects were done, how the direction was done, who were the writers, interviews with the effects geniuses like Tom Savini and all this kind of thing. And then there were the people who bought it purely for the front cover because it had eyeballs popping out, or a head on a stick, or something like that. And that audience, and I'm generalizing here, so I apologize, but that audience seemed to have three things that they liked, which was rock bands, usually with, as you rightly pointed out, the Satan on the front cover and titles like Death Worm or something like that. And they just wanted to see people being skewered, set on fire, blood guts everywhere, bodies mutilated, and thinking that was horror. And then there was people who read Fangoria because they wanted to read the articles, a bit like I read Penthouse for the articles. But and to me, Terrifier is aiming at that latter group. It's aiming at the people who aren't after horror. They're after gore.
Yeah.
They're after the visceral, ew, and then, isn't that hardcore rock? Sort of thing. That to me doesn't interest me. That's not horror. I mean, we did just a minute ago. We just did on that. Asking for trouble. Anne-Marie Organ just turned around and she said, what's the scariest film you've seen? I don't think any of us picked a slasher movie.
No.
And to me, slasher movies are a different genre of horror, which I rarely engage in. There's only one slasher movie I've ever really truly liked. Well, I suppose two if you count Psycho, but it's John Carpenter's Halloween. And after that, it was kind of like that genre's done. There's nothing else you can do with it other than remix what you've seen. Supernatural, unstoppable, silent, emotionless, white-faced killer. And everything since then has been the same old. And Art the Clown is kind of he's kind of basically the zenith point of that. He's the singularity. We've come to the point where it's an icon killer, and that's the only thing we care about now. So therefore, it's the only thing we're going to concentrate on. It's taking that Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface thing that was going through the 80s and 90s, where the killers were more popular than the films franchises they were in. And it's just done that. It's like someone's speedrunning it. It's kind of like the Marvel DC thing. It's like, we could take 10 years doing this, or we could just jump straight to the end and have a team up film. It's the same thing. We could take years making Art the Clown movies with like deep, meaningful characters in it, Ghostface Killer, Scream type things. Or we can just say, you know what, fuck it. He's the most interesting thing in this movie. It's 80 minutes long and everyone dies. The end. It's just like, all right.
Well, it does everything a franchise needs. It gives you a fulcrum, which is the Art the Clown. You have your face of the movies now. So if you make 3 more, if you make 10 more, if you make these for infinity years, you've always got that face, and people can step into that face. You always got that Art the Clown that they kind of want the creepypasta type thing to kick off. So and if people can recreate that, then it just makes it bigger and bigger. And people will do this at Halloween. People will dress up as him.
Oh,
because it's easy. It's creepy as well. A lot of people say they don't like clowns as well, and so you have that aspect. And then
the dressing up is concerned and stuff like this. This weekend at Comic-Con, somebody was dressed as Art the Clown.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's probably started in 2017, I would imagine, or maybe immediately after this was released. But you have that main aspect, that you can now build a franchise off. It doesn't matter what they do in these films. It would be nice to have lore, and would be nice to have a story boarded all the way through, and that would show that you actually care about what you're putting on TV. But it doesn't really matter if you don't, because, Jim, as you said, if you put this on silently, this film works as a silent movie. You don't need all the screams and shouts or anything like that. You just need to look over your shoulder and go, oh, look. This is the bit where Darren doesn't get to see her fanny. And that's all you need.
That's a phrase that pays.
Yeah, there you go. That's the phrase that pays.
Oh,
Darren didn't get to see her fanny. Put that on the Facebook group if you get to the end of this podcast. Darren didn't get to see her fanny. Right.
I'm sorry, Darren. Sorry.
No.
You will be.
But yeah, no, I agree. It's funny, actually. I was thinking exactly the same thing. Darren, do you remember we used to go to the Ben Croucher's pub?
Yeah.
And what they used to have on there, they used to have like Nosferatu and Frankenstein and Metropolis, didn't they?
They did. They had
over the
Metropolis playing in the background. Yeah,
yeah, over the pub TV. That used to be Nosferatu,
Metropolis.
And
there might have been one other film as well.
Yeah, James Whale's Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
Bride of Frankenstein, wasn't it? And yeah, and then you just be lulling the conversation 5 minutes. Look up. There's there's a monster, or there's Max, what's his name, going up the stairs as a shadow or whatever. And yeah, this film is just that. It's just viewing for 5 minutes bursts. It is a pure YouTube era horror movie.
Oh,
really.
It's made for shorts, isn't it? Definitely.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because Darren really wanted to see her fanny. Shame about the shorts. No,
get it on a t-shirt.
Yeah. But anyway, did any of it? I mean, the silly question, but did any of it actually scare you? Anyone?
Oh God, no.
Darren?
Absolutely not. No.
Go on, Jim. Sorry.
But the thing is, I don't think it's trying to be scary like that. I mean, Stephen King did a thing about in his book Dance Macabre about the three types of horror. He said that the top layer, the purity, is pure fear. And kind of I define that as kind of literally where in a film like The Haunting or Paranormal Activity or The Blair Witch Project, they can show you a completely static scene, like an empty room or just some trees in the dark. But they've wound you up that much with the storytelling, you're fucking terrified of what you might see.
Yeah.
That's the purest horror, according to King, and I would agree. He said, then you've got like terror, which is more like the fun of being scared. It's the ghost train ride, okay? You know what I mean? It's more like a quick scare, but it's not... You're not going to have a sleepless night, but it's fun. You know what I mean? It's kind of it's build up tension, then release. He said the lowest one was the gross out, and he said, I'll try and get you the fear if I can. I will give you the terror if I can't, and if I can't give you the terror, I will go for the gross out. I'm not proud, but you know what I mean. But he said, gross out is basically just like what your kids do. Kind of your little brother, chews for a load of food, opens his mouth and shoots his little sister, goes there. That's all it is. I mean, it's kind of visceral in its way, and I mean, if you take it far enough, it maybe can become art. You know what I mean? I don't, that's an interesting question. But this film is it's not going for either of the other two. It's going for the gross out with maybe a bit of the sort of mid-tier sort of Ghost Train sort of vibe to it. Yeah. But his big weapons though is the gross out, and that's what it's about. I mean, and that's valid enough. You know what I mean? It's not my cup of tea. It might have been when I was a younger man, You know what I mean? And I would say I was very conscious, kind of like this, uh, this is not horror for a granddad like me. You know what I mean? I've seen all this before, and I just think it's funny. And all this sort of kind of hype they have around Terrifier with people, vomiting at showings and walking out because they're disgusted. It's kind of, that's all just par for the course. It's just that's part of the carnival. You know what I mean? Because this is a film kind of you dare each other to watch when you're 15.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's nothing really extreme like fucking Salo, or
Yeah.
But and that's fine. That's fine. It's not for me. And it's kind of there's a market for it quite clearly because the Terrifier 3 is become a box office juggernaut, and it's kind of clearly you're doing something right that's tapped into something.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, what the clever bit is Art the Clown.
Yeah.
And I think that the performance, I think, is. I mean, so when I first heard about Art the Clown, I thought, oh, really? He's just a scary clown. But having seen him in the movie, I can see why people are fascinated by the character.
Well,
it's quite fun. I mean, I did mean Teresa cracked up. And the woman's hung up, and he goes with pats her. They go, oh, you're all right. You'll be all right, love. I'm just going to saw you in half. There you go. Pat, pat. I thought that's hysterical. Maybe I'm a sick man, but you know what I mean? There's something about it. I mean, they double down on the fact that he is a clown, and worse, he's a mime clown.
Yeah.
And I think that has sort of clearly that taps into something, and it gives the character, I don't know, it gives it, I don't know, a little X factor that sort of makes it transcend the sort of cut and paste nature of it. And I think it is largely down to the guy's performance, because I think he is very good at what he does. And that's where it's just the way art looks at people. So that's the way the film was actually creepiest.
Yeah.
It's like he's sort of smiling there. Every now and again you get like the fucking death stare. Like, oh, Jesus Christ, looking in the black pits of hell. I mean, it's fleeting, but it is there. And obviously it's resonated with people. So, this is why I'm going to watch the second one, because I'm a bit of I've got that completist geek gene as well, obviously. I've done one. I have actually seen the anthology film that's the shorts that he came from.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. And that has some sick fucking shit in, but really badly done, so it doesn't work. But it's obviously been totally offensive. But I am sort of, being a completist, I will give Terrifier 2 a go, because give him more budget. Well, go on then. What can you do with that, lad? Let me see.
Yeah, I get the understanding that they get longer and longer. I think the third one is something like 2.5 hours long or something stupid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Flip it now.
I know the second one's just under 2 hours, and it's kind of, someone described it as like a prog rock album of a slasher film.
Jesus Christ.
But
right. Well, I mean, fair enough. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Unless Elton does actually pull the pin and make us watch the second one, I doubt I'm going to follow you down that particular rabbit hole, Jim. But do report back and let us know what you think.
Well, kind of as the horror expert, I feel now I've started, I've got to finish. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
it's that completist gene. Once you started a franchise,
see it right through the end.
Well, it's not going. There'll be something there to be entertaining. I'll have a laugh at least, which is more than say from good many horror franchises that have followed to the bleak, bitter end of the straight-to-video sequels.
Yeah,
I've had to watch for research to do a show on the damn things or something.
Oh shit.
So.
Yeah. Oh well, cool. Does anybody else have anything to add? Because I won't lie, I don't have anything really. Is there anything anyone would like to add? I mean, Elton, what was the roast potato scale on this?
It is pretty much a 0. There was one jump moment that got me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scratching my head. I think it was just him. I think it was the bag moment where he just bagged her from behind, and yeah, I think that made me jump. But apart from that, it's because it's gore just for gore's sake. It is like watching. Well, it's just fucking around, isn't it? With fake blood and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem.
Could we have that on the back of the video?
Yeah.
on the DVD case or Blu-ray case.
Yeah. It's
Just
fucking
fucking
around.
about with blood, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
see,
dear.
see what we can do. I'm sure we get that on the case.
Oh,
Haha. Cool. Yeah. I mean, it is just fucking about with yeah. Hold on. Where's my sad kazoo? I've lost my sad kazoo. I'm even sadder now, and I haven't got a kazoo to be sad about my sad
Oh,
kazoo.
no.
It's gone horribly wrong.
It's gone walking off.
It's gone walking off. Right.
So,
Well,
how much did you say it actually made? Did you say?
yeah, it made 420,000 from a budget of 38.
Okay.
So it's made 10 or 11 times its 11, nearly 12 times its original budget,
Mm.
and that's all you need to know, really. And the only interesting thing for me is that the actual effects were done by the writer and director. So to me, that is the keystone for this movie. Is it's a show reel.
Yeah.
It's a show reel for practical effects.
Right.
But then it turned into more than that, because it turned into the director going, well, actually, maybe I don't need to do a show reel. Maybe I just make more of this shit and just keep going.
Yeah. Well, it has that feel of. Do you remember going into video stores, looking at all the videos on the shelf, and me being a young kid, you'd see all like the horror stuff, and you'd be like, well, I'm not allowed to watch that. I don't really want to watch that, but you see the covers and you get familiar with covers. I think this one has like because you've got Art the Clown on the cover of what I would assume would be the video box or the DVD. That is kind of an iconic and memorable cover. So if this was transported back into the 80s, you would see this and it would be, I remember that as a kid, seeing that as a kid, and I wonder what this film's like. So it has all that hallmarks of what it would have been like. It is like the movie that was made in the 80s but saved until now, because it has that feel, it has that resemblance to all the other movies that did this sort of thing already before.
Yeah. Yeah, it is built basically. It is built essentially as a sort of like condensed, sort of super concentrated version of every slasher film that's ever existed for the last 50 years. Especially your sort of mascot, what I call mascot slashers. Like your Freddy Kruegers and your Jasons and Leatherfaces and what's the other ones? There's loads of them in there. It's just
Leprechaun.
Leprechaun. Yeah.
Leprechaun.
Fucking, was it? Your Chuckies and Candyman, and it's that pure 80s, 90s nostalgia, just boiled down to a thick soup. And it's like, right, okay, we've got rid of everything that nobody likes. The characterization, the long-winded setups, the interrelationships between the victims. Fuck it, we don't care about any of that shit. Bring on the killer because he looks cool. Job's a good one. Ghost face, all that sort of stuff. It's just, why even bother? That's really what it should have been called. It should have been called Why Bother? Because that's exactly what they must have been saying as they were doing it. It's like, we could do like a 20-minute thing about the sister and the other sister and their relationship, and why bother? Let's just have her turn up in the car and be stalked through this warehouse. The whole thing. Why bother? But there's definitely a place for it. I mean, obviously, there's the amount of money it's bloody made, but
exactly. Yeah.
It's not for me, and it's not. I don't find it that interesting beyond the curiosity. You sort of go, I wonder what this is like. I wonder what this is actually about. And then you watch it and you just go, okay. It's that. Now I know what it is. I've got it pegged. Unless it gets to the point which Jason, the Friday the 13th did, which is Jason in space. Once they stick it in space, you go, okay. Well, what are you going to do with that then? Hellraiser in space. Jason in space, and then Fast and the Furious in space. Once you kind of hit that sort of point, you're like, okay, well, you're obviously running out of ideas, but this is where the good ideas start to appear because you're just doing crazy shit like Jason Voorhees wandering around a holodeck while the two holograms go, we've had premarital sex, sort of thing. And it's just like, okay, well, that's actually quite funny now, and I'll go with that. But yeah. But Art the Clown is iconic, but the story that supports it, it's just Space Invaders, but for slasher movies. Just let's not fuck about with story. Let's just get on with it. But Dow, you've been remarkably silent. You haven't had a lot to say, or just don't care.
No, just listening to everyone else's point of view, really, on the.
Have you got any other view on it, or is it just bollocks?
I'll say I'm kind of done with this. It's like watching. I don't know. It's like watching a sporting event and knowing who's going to win. It's just that's part of the enjoyment taken out of it. You know how this is going to think. You know all the beats, and all the beats are the same in this. Oh look, she hiding behind a car, looking at the villain as he's walking around, and all of a sudden their head turns very sharply and looks directly at them. I'm like 1, 2, 3, done, and I got it right. I was fucking bang on the money with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just like I say, it's the same thing. It's the same plot. It's the same. It's the same beats as every other fucking slasher movie.
Yeah.
You've got to do something really quite special with stuff like this to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Like how about having a film where you have this serial killer going around killing people, and then suddenly comes across something that's actually worse than them, and suddenly the serial killer is the one on the run. Being stalked by this thing he thought was a victim actually turns out to be something worse.
Right.
But let's have someone like that. Let's do that. Let's have let's flip the script.
That's a film called Creep.
It's a film called Creep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Not the found footage one. There's another one. It's a British movie.
Creep is
it? Set in the London Underground.
I've seen that one.
Yes, with Franca Potente.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
enjoyed that. That's actually, I thought that was a good film. I think mainly because it's the London Underground, and it's like I kind of recognise places like this. So, that was kind of a bit of a distraction for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, this film, like I say, it's just it's the same old with wearing a different face. That's all it is.
Or eating someone's face
eating someone's face, yes.
In this particular instance.
And the whole thing of it's when they fucking, they literally have you see it, the character has his brains blowing out, all of a sudden he sits up and he's alive again. It's at that point my brain goes, fuck off. Just fuck off. Go away. Just fuck off. Can we just have it? Can we just have them killed and not come back? Do we have to have a fucking sequel to this? Can we just like one and done? There you go. Whoa, fucking hell. Yeah, great. Fantastic. That stands out because, well, they didn't kill everyone and somebody finally got them in the end. They're not literally burying them under a fucking tower block and, he's sat up, or a little finger moves. And it's just, God, Jesus fucking Christ.
You didn't see the body. Oh.
Yeah, this isn't scary. It's like, it's tiresome.
Well, do you remember last week you said you're getting fed up with the bad guys winning?
Yeah.
This is kind of that as well. So you've got slashers that you're done with. Yeah.
It's that I'm fed up with this kind of horror, or what they put across as horror. If
Right.
if you're defining horror as, oh, that's disgusting, the
Yeah.
horror of that, and fair enough. But I really like to see like horror films that leave an impression, a good impression. Things like stuff that's truly scary or unnerving. Things like Lake Mungo, right?
Yeah.
What was that one we watched? The other one, is it the Savage Lands? Right?
Yeah.
There are bits in that up to a point were quite unnerving to see.
Yeah.
Stuff where it's not always presented to you right in your face as well, where they kind of hold back and reveal stuff later on. Man, it's do you know what I mean? Where they try and do something a bit different.
Yeah.
With it,
I get you.
It's like zombie movies are like that as well, right?
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I like zombie movies, but I like good zombie movies. I like those versions that try and take the subject. It's like even fucking things like that Arnold Schwarzenegger film Maggie, where it's a dad watching his daughter slowly turn into a zombie, where he's got her at home, and like the police are like, no, you've got to relinquish the body because we need to get rid of it, and he's doing all he can to try and keep her there because he thinks, it's like, I want to be there for her last moments, and that sort of thing. Even that, has something a little bit different about it to the standard zombie film, and you could probably do that with this as well. You could probably do something quite, a little bit different. To have that little bit of a twist, and because this stuff is just rinse and repeat all the fucking time, and it's stupid people doing stupid things. It's that as well. Christ Almighty! Oh man, this film had more than its fucking fair share of it as well.
Are you getting vexed now?
I'm getting vexed because I'm thinking there back. It's like me and Ree are both. After I started saying it first, and after a while, she's doing it as well. Which is like, don't just stop with one fucking stab there. Keep fucking doing it. Hit him with the plank until there's a fucking wet sound. Just do it. Just keep doing it. Stove his fucking head in. Don't just hit him lightly about the head and then fuck off. Or don't drop your fucking weapon, you twat. What the fuck? You've left the spike on the floor. You've just walked away from it. I see you deliberately put it down. Fucking go back and get it. What are you like?
Why? Why would you do this?
Yeah, I'm supposed to have sympathy with your situation, but I can't stand stupid people. It's just, and that's it. I start rooting for the bad guy. It's like, I'll just fucking put them down. Yeah. Take them out the gene pool. Just
do me a favour.
Do society a favour. It's that. Yeah, that's another thing as well.
Yeah,
can we have someone who writes an intelligent? So the person being chased. Can we have a film where they don't do stupid person does stupid things? Surely somebody can write something. Where it is literally a battle of wits, apart from the physical combat, but it is actually a battle of wits between the killer and the victim.
Right. I think it's going to be a long, cold day in hell before you'll get that.
Exactly.
There's too much relying on, on these tropes. Otherwise,
cheaply mass-produced shit. Right, this sort of thing is the Primark of horror. Right, that's what it is.
Primark of horror.
It's the fucking Primark of horror. Right, it was made by a bunch of kids in a sweatshop somewhere. Right, okay, that's it. Oh, but we did this, and the amount of work we put into it. Yeah, I'm very happy that you put all the work into it, and I'm sure what you did behind the scenes was very skillful. However, what it produced. It's not fair to the amount of work you put into it. Okay? That's it. It's like me squeezing 1,000 oranges and only having a thimbleful of really shit orange juice to drink.
Well, I think you found actually they got gallons and gallons of orange juice in the box office. That's the thing.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem, Dal. You got the audience is against you on that one, isn't it? I mean,
well,
really.
Of course it is. I am the only one. Obviously, I am the one that's a wrong 'un for thinking this, for pointing out the Emperor's New Fucking Clothes don't fucking exist. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I am the child going, but he's fucking naked, and I'm having him put on a fucking special list because he's flashing at me, a child.
Nice. You put him on the list.
Yep, that's it.
Nice.
Operation U Tree. Hello.
Fucking hell. Okay. I think at this point, I think we will leave it there because I think that's a good place to play out. Unless you've got something else you'd wish to address, Jim.
Nope.
No, we're done. We're done. That's it. We are officially done. So, that's it.
Can I just say, by the way?
Yeah, go on.
When Jim, you quoted that, what was that? Poo, bum, wank, and a picture of the devil.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was the previous title of Me and You and a Dog Named Boo by Lobo from the 70s. And they went, no, sorry, we can't. No, you need to change the lyrics because that's no, it's not going to go. Oh, okay,
that's not going to work.
Down, then. Yeah. But the lyrics are like my children. Look, here's $6,000 extra. Okay, whatever you want.
Yeah. Here's £1,000. Stop fucking writing. Go away. Yeah. Yeah, but I haven't done my Willy Pooh Bee Bum story.
Picture of the devil.
Yeah. Hold on. I've not quite got there. Why? Don't deny me. Don't deny me. My Willy Pooh Bee Bum devil story.
Okay, we have to have Me and You and a Dog Named Boo as the play-out tune.
Oh God. I've been told off by YouTube. I can't have nothing like that now. No. Well, I might do, but I've been told off. Apparently.
Not even like the Spanish version, like we did with the Land of Make Believe. Not even that. That was a top version. I love that version.
Yeah, I still think we might not get away with it. I don't know. I'm just saying it. Just saying it that we might be what's called skating on thin ice. as far as the YouTube gods are concerned, and it may have a knock-on effect down the line. So anyway, right, okay. Well, I think we'll leave it there. So let's, before we go on and to Pimp's Corner and wrap it all up, Jim.
Yes.
No, it's your pick, mate.
I know.
Okay.
So next week we're doing the McPherson tape, which I've just found.
Wow.
It is on YouTube. If Elton's naughty, you can pull the pin on that one.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll leave that one in the chamber.
Yeah,
right.
For next time when he pulls out another bloody G.I. Joe.
Fucking sword of Damocles right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, you can have something demented or something classy.
I fear.
Does the Demented feature Nicolas Cage by any chance? No?
No.
Right,
okay. Oh, well, then I think we got to go for a Demented, didn't we? It's got to be.
Yeah, fuck it.
Can't be having classy. When was the last time we had classy?
You've chosen wisely.
Okay. So
it is on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
It stars the great Bruce Campbell.
Oh, we're on a winner.
Ooh.
And the movie is Bubba Hotep.
Very
nice.
Very nice.
Nice. Okay. So I'm going to ask the question, but I think I know the answer. Elton,
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Bubba Hotep?
No, never even heard of it.
No.
Yeah, you're in for a surprise.
Oh, God, you're in for a treat, man.
It's a different kind of film.
Jim, all I got to say is, I thank you very much.
Yeah. It's a thing. Right. Well, there you go. Well, that's great. I already know the answer to this, but Darren, have you seen Bubba Hotep?
Oh, fuck yes.
Right. Okay. I certainly have. Cool. That's brilliant. And I'm guessing you have, Jim. Otherwise, you wouldn't have.
Oh, I own it.
Hey. Right, yo. Well, there you go. Bubba Hotep is next week's movie, which I guess almost counts as a week of horror, even though we'll be
Probably.
in November at that point.
It's kind of like Requiem for.
Yeah, a requiem for an intermediate week of horror.
Or is it the comeback special?
Yeah. Elvis has left the building, my friend.
Lemonade, that cool, refreshing drink.
Right. So, as you can tell, Elton, it's about Buddy Holly.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will be getting to that next week. The phrase that pays, because obviously Michael Wilding did point out that we didn't do a phrase that pays last week. Yeah, Willy Pooby, P Bum, and the cover of the devil. Or should we have Darren didn't see the fanny? I can't work out which one.
Either or, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. You go with what you feel comfortable with, ladies and gentlemen, or uncomfortable with, given how this podcast has been going recently. Yeah. So that's that. So Jim, let's move on to Pimp's Corner. Jim.
Yes. I've been very busy. This is my busy season, obviously.
It is.
So this week I've released not one, but 2 chapters of Halloween history, looking at Halloween in the 90s.
Nice.
Just today, I've released a Commentary Club Halloween special, which was on Hocus Pocus.
By Focus.
Yep. And
Yep.
Watch out for the yodeling. And tomorrow I'll be releasing a ghost story for Halloween, what I done wrote.
Ooh, interesting. Juicy dangler there. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Do we have a title or do we just have to wait?
They come to the fire. It's called.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's good. That's nice. We like that. Cool. Well, and that's all over at hypnagoria.com, yeah?
It is indeed.
Brilliant. Okie dokie. So, let's move over to Rogue 2. Elton, what's going on with you, sir?
Cars going round in circles at the moment. I think there is a new Band of Brothers episode out. When is it? The 1st of November. So that's like the end of this week, isn't it?
I think so.
I think it is Friday, yes.
Yes.
Where we're covering The Thin Red Line.
Thin Red Line. Nice. Okie dokie. Cool. Well, that's excellent. And that's over at rogue2media.com.
It is indeed, yes.
Lovely. Right. There's nothing much for me to add. Darren, are you appearing on wanted posters anywhere?
No, sadly.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, we'll leave it there then. You can, as I said before, you can find us over on Blue Sky now, which is Black Dog, Blue Sky dot whatever the fuck it is.
ELO.com.
Yeah, ELO.com. yeah. Evil Woman by Jeff Lynne. I don't know. So yeah, you can find us over on Blue Sky if you just Google us, and then you can also find us on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/the Black Dog Podcast. put it up there for any feedback on this episode, and also if you have any questions for asking for trouble, which I think we've agreed has gone better than we expected. So that'll be back for better or worse. And yes, we will see you all next week for Bubba Hotep. Until then, take care, and we'll see you all next time. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, baby.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
I already came for a kebab.